Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? This wasn't a pile on. Child, yes, it was Meredith. This was absolutely a pile on. It went from everybody versus Bronwyn to Brittany versus Meredith to Heather versus Lisa. Oh, it was a pile on. And let me tell you something, Heather. You're doing good. You're clocking in and you're finally just doing what you should have been doing, right? But stop chasing behind Lisa just because she has a temper tantrum and she's hollering and she's clapping when she talks. Don't be calling me the source and crying and boo-hooing and calling John. Honey, what Lisa gonna do is get upset. She gonna holler. She gonna holler and scream. She gonna start clapping and she gonna get on that phone. She gonna call a lawyer, an assistant, a reporter, a troll, or her husband. She gonna call somebody. She boo-hooing in the phone. Let her go run away and boo-hoo. Let her process. Child. But welcome, besties. You are now behind the shade, and thanks for joining me. I recap your favorite reality shows weekly. Now let's kiki and haha and get into another hot and sizzling episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 7, Above Deck and Below the Belt. Honey, how would I rate this week's episode? You already know. Two thumbs up, two thumbs up, two thumbs up. And you know what I wanted to say? When I was recapping Potomac on Sunday, and I see, there, we're getting into the good, right? I can tell, wait a minute, was that Potomac or was it Orange County? I want to say Potomac. They're taking notes from Salt Lake City. They're taking notes. Pay attention. Okay, enough about them. Let's get into this. Woo! But you know what? First, besties, please drop down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about tonight's episode. And please do me a solid. You're viewing, but you're not liking the video. Why is that? Like the video, please. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And make sure your notification bell is on so that way you know each and every time I post my content. Now, wait a minute. You're viewing the video, but you're not pressing the like button. Right. Please hit like. Just hit like. You know what? When you hit the like button, the thumbs up, it turns into a TV. And girl, just hit it and you'll see. It's so cute. I'm your best friend, right? You're my bestie. I'm yours. Okay. I don't even beg for money. I'm just begging for likes. Free of charge. Okay, let's get into it. So the ladies arrive at the airport in Broward, Texas, Whitney, and says, sorry for the late notice. I'm not going to make my flight. Have a safe trip. Now, I'm still coming. I'll meet you in Kenyon to get on the boat. Can't wait to see you all. Honey, she got to finish getting chewed out by Todd. So Whitney is not surprised because the headlines are buzzing, honey. You know, we got felony, grand theft, ID theft, eviction, and all this is, was before Todd. You know, we learned that this news is 20 years old, but she kind of explains why it seems so current. Didn't make sense to me, but let's just go with it because we'll never know because this case is sealed, but I don't know how something sealed is leaking. So they arrive 15 hours later in Canyon. Baby, it is a billionaire's playground. Baby, I ain't never seen water so blue. It looks gorgeous on this island. Just Ah. Then they get to the yacht. It is humongous. Okay. Humongous. There's Captain Jason and his whole entire crew. They are ready for the girls. So they are greeted with margarita shots, some champagne, and then here comes Lisa. Well, I'll have this shot, but after this, I'm going to give you my tequila. And then she kind of looks for validation. No one even heard her. And the staff was like, what? And you guys, the staff was very entertaining too. And I'm gonna assume, like those other shows, Above Deck and Below Deck, I'm just gonna assume that they are very good because, honey, this staff, they was a part of the cast. They had stuff to say and they were pretty funny. They kept me entertained for a whole hour and 15 minutes. I mean, come on, Bravo. What's up with this hour and 15 minutes? Man, like, I got to go to work in the morning. I ain't got time, the extra time to be writing and reviewing and taking notes when I got to get on this horn, edit, get the video out, and try to get to bed. I got to go watch Beyond the Gates before I go to bed. Y'all watch that? Oh, good. Okay, so the yacht is awesome, as you can imagine. It's luxurious, right? So the room assignments, it'll be Whitney with Heather, the cousins, what they call themselves, buzzing cousins. Lisa with Meredith and Mary with Angie. So that leaves Bronwyn and Brittany. And Brittany's like, wait, what? She's worried because they don't get along. Bronwyn don't like Brittany, and Brittany don't like Bronwyn. So there's a crew member, he's complaining that it's just way too much luggage that he got to get on this yacht, and this is what he hates about his job, child. And so then the head chef is in the kitchen talking about if he don't get a nice generous tip, he gonna steal the lady's jewelry. And what? So Lisa's like, okay, so Heather's trying to tell the girls, y'all kind of cool it because I ain't told Captain Jason that we off the hook crazy. We gonna be hollering, fussing, cussing, and raising all kind of sand. I didn't tell him we was cray cray. Lisa's like, well, where is Captain Jason? Maybe I'll just tell him myself. And it's like, Lisa, is the boat moving or not? It's moving, correct? Captain. Who do you think is driving the boat, stupid? The captain. Oh, let me guess. You think AI is driving the boat? She's so stupid. So Brittany wants to holler at Captain Jason, honey, only if he's interested because her and Jared are on another 30-day break. And she says she came up with this. What is that? What happens in the 30 days, Brittany? I'm confused. I got questions. What happens besides you're giving him a pass to go fool around? What are we doing? So then she tells us in her confessional that even though they're on a break, right? He came over to help her pack before she left for this trip. Yeah, he helped you pack in the bed. So she said, okay, the 30 days will start up today. It's like, oh goodness. Woo! So the girls tell, but you know what? I will say this. I like that Brittany in these 30 days, right? At least she is trying to move and find a liking with someone else. At least her eyes are open and she's willing to flirt and meet somebody else. I'll give her that. We got to give her that much props, okay? So the girls tell her if she mentions Jared's name on this whole entire trip, they are going to splash her with water on her head. And then they demonstrate because she said his name just to see. Yeah, they just, they soaked her. Excuse me, Bessie. Let me get some water. So here come Brahman, honey. She on the boat, zooming through the water to join them. She gets on. What in the heezy do you have on, Brahman? Child, Lisa gonna say she always wearing a costume. And it's like they was like, okay, is this fashion or costume? She said it's both. Brahmin looked like she was inflatable. She looked like if you just did, you could throw her out in the water and sail on her. What is this get up you got on with the matching purse and the hat? What is happening? Okay, we moving on. Brittany tells her that they are sleeping together, and Brahman is like, "Oh, hey, no, we not. Oh, no, no, no." So she said, "Well, just as long as you remember, my name is Brahman, not Jared." And then they soak Brittany. They like, "Well, I didn't say it." They were like, "No," but Brahman didn't know, so it was all fun. So Meredith and Lisa talk about if Brahman is going to bring up her allegations. Of course she's not. Why would she bring it up? You know that's what took her so long to join you. She don't want to be she don't want y'all to be just ganging up on her. What it the pile on? She's avoiding the pile on. So Meredith just wants Brahman to be honest. Okay. So Brittany asked Brahman, they're back at their room, where have you been and why didn't you come with us? And so pretty much she just got to it. Brahman, she got to it. What she gonna do? She not gonna play around. She was like, someone in this group has planted stories about me, and it isn't true. So not Brittany is like, so she that allegation is not true, and this allegation isn't true, and this one, nope, nope, nope. And she says, the story keeps changing over and over again. And why is that, Brahman? Why does your story change? Who's changing it, and why is it allowed to be different from the last time? Like, why does it keep changing? And what cracks me up is these people always want to say, "Oh, I can't discuss it because it's sealed." Oh, and then you try to discuss it, and then that doesn't make sense. Like it's like, oh my God, can we just please go back to when we would tell a story and start from the beginning of the story? Because we need to know what you're talking about in its entirety. But hey, whatever. So hold on, y'all. Let me see. So, okay, here we go. So she says, so the grand theft isn't true. No, it's not. Someone's digging. She says, you know what, Brittany, I've made mistakes. I'm not embarrassed by that. And so Brian knows that they've been talking about her. She said, and you know what? The only person who has reached out to me and checked on me was Mary. Ooh. And I said, Brian keeps calling them mistakes. Bronwyn, they're called charges, honey, not mistakes. That's something a kid does and get a punishment or a whooping or timeout. These are called charges, okay? So she says they were 20 years ago. She was evicted from her, I guess the college in Utah, BYU is what she calls it. And she left and went to California to have her baby. And then there's a case that was 10 years ago, but it's stated as being current, but it's sealed. So you can't really do too much digging, Lisa. And, it has the penal codes of grand theft, fraud, identity theft. Yeah, so they're listed, but there's no information. Okay, and she ain't giving up any. Something happened at her job. She cooperated, and that's that on that. And we all like, well, what? What did you cooperate about? What happened at the job? That's all I want to know. But she can't tell us. So, Lisa, since you're digging, honey, I'm going to need you to get a longer shovel, and I'm going to need you to dig some more. Okay? You said you go outside and you hear things. I need you to hear what happened 10 years ago. Okay? Dig some more, you troll. And so Braun was like, yeah, and this is all why, I didn't come because Ty was very upset. And the reason why I had to meet you here was because, when things happen in my family, we have to sit down and we have to talk these things out because, Todd is affected, my daughter is affected, and we have to come to some kind of agreement and then we move forward. That's how we get down. We are healthy in our family. We discuss things. So, child, Angie is barfing up everything she ever ate in her whole entire life. She is seasick like a mug, okay? And it is the worst feeling. And it's like, girl, you didn't go get the Dramamine, the wristbands. You didn't go get the little things you put behind your ears, like Angie. But this was her first. I think she said this is her first time on a yacht. But does that mean boat, cruise ship? Like you didn't know to go get something for seasick? You're this old and don't know that you can't handle the water? Seems weird. Anyway, so she just bleh, bleh, bleh. So they all join each other for lunch. Whitney asked Bronwyn, "Is everything okay?" Bronwyn's like, "Here we go. Yeah, well, so Todd wanted me to stay home because he was upset because folks are digging up my past." Meredith asked her to clear it up. And so she says, "Well, what I just said. I'll go over it though. I got evicted from BYU 20 years ago. I was 19. I was pregnant. There was no charges for 4 years, and then these charges that are not mine because I cooperated at my job. Years later, the charges are sealed, and then you guys know the penal codes that are attached to those charges that are sealed. She can't talk about them, and it's like, well, why are they on your record? But there's nothing there. Well, what? Something is there. They have penal codes. So they're just charges because of the situation at your job. And because you cooperated, you are a part of it. That's not, is that the deal? If you cooperate, you're gonna have a messed up record. If you cooperated, you should not have a record. Okay, Bronwyn. Something in the milk ain't clean, y'all. So Bronwyn says, yeah, someone in this group brought all this up. Lisa just jumps in for it. Child, a hit dog gone what? Holla. No one in this group is digging stuff up. You brought up stuff about me, and I feel like this was retaliation. What? Oh gosh. Lisa, you are just Lisa, zip your mouth up, okay? Too late now. Because that was stupid. Oh, don't spend this on me. Girl, you spent it on yourself. So now what Lisa gonna do? Deflect. No one accused you. No one accused you. Girl, no one accused you. What are you talking about? Mary asked, you don't think it's Lisa? Heather was like, do you know? Do no. Heather asked, who do you think it came from? Uh-huh. Lisa. So Lisa's like, can we go swimming? I'm hot. It's hot. I'm not finna do this with y'all. Let's have a good time. They like, okay. So they go swimming. Heather swimming with Captain Jason. Child, Brittany then went over there to Heather, like, I was liking him. Why you with him? And when I say Heather went swimming with him, she was coddled up under him or over. Yeah, I guess he was on top. Even the camp girl production went under the water to show us what their bodies looked like, how close they were. So Brittany, like, I told you that was my man, my man, my man. I wanted him. Heather, like, chill out. That's my homie. We have a little something. And she kind of allude to, doing the nasty. And so production was like, wait, what? You did what? And she said, wait, did I say that to her? They're like, yes. She said, oh, I didn't mean that. Delete, 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 delete. But anyway, Brittany is jealous, but they talk about it. And so, she knows she still got it in cool. Heather, like, I'll back up. But that's my homie. Don't get it twisted. Okay. So Angie is still out there puking, puking. Poor thing. And she looked like she said, so funny. And she looked cute. Her little outfits was cute, honey child, little bathing suit. She said, I'm out here puking and I'm too sick to suck it in. And I got on a bikini. I said, even the skinny girls be sucking it in. But you got on a life vest, a life jacket. So I mean, you can't really tell that you got a pudge. But she out there. Then I'm thinking, so then I'm thinking too, If you out there puking, there's nothing to suck in. You're throwing it all out into the ocean. You're good, Angie. You are good. So Brittany tries to flirt with the captain. Something she was saying. So Browning shows Whitney Brittany's stuffed animal. They go inside. And child, the stuffed animal has Jared's voice. And he says something about how much he loves her. And I'm like, Brittany, really? Where did you get that? Amazon? You get his voice? What in the world? Did you go to Build a Bear and get that done? What is happening? Oh, you are sprung and dumb. Oh, poor thing. Broward and Whitney then talk about Lisa, right? You know, they said it's her because, she did this to Whitney about the jewelry line. And she called Brown Conwin when they were at Annie's house. And that's the person who tweeted that about, Brown. That person on Twitter used her name, said her name was Conwin, referred to her as Conwin. So it's like, oh, Lisa is trolling and getting sloppy, very sloppy. And then, of course, production rolls the tape back. Lisa is calling Bronwyn Conwin at that lady's party. And it was like, totally Lisa. But we know because she the only one that started hollering and fussing and raising all kind of sand about it. Nobody else, just her. Woo. So hold on, y'all. It's late. It is 11:21 p.m. and I've been up. But I took a nap, but just give me a second. On my notes, honey. So, oh wait. So, okay. So Heather says Lisa's trolling is getting sloppy. So Whitney goes to talk to Heather and ask her opinion. And so Heather's like, yeah, she did it for sure. So Heather has said she has seen Lisa talk about Bronwyn. Remember the jeweler about that jewelry? That that part. And she said all the leaks come from Lisa. She's dug up things on every one of them. Everybody, even Meredith. So Whitney goes and gets Meredith because they're trying to connect the dots because they are trying to get Meredith to understand that Lisa is the troll in the group. So Meredith is like, oh, well, if this is the case, then it's definitely a problem. I don't know, but we're in a good place. They're like, girl, this is her. She does it. Look, are you not connecting the dots? And so Meredith is like, well, correlation does not equal causation. There's no proof. I know we want to move on. We've all made mistakes. Let's just see what she says. Y'all have tried. This is Heather's second attempt to get Meredith to see Lisa for who she is. Meredith is like, child, I'm hanging on to this friendship. I have fought hard for this lady's friendship, and I'm not giving up this easy. So Angie and Mary will not be at dinner because Angie is still sick. She's in bed. She can't move. She don't feel good. She got sea legs. Oh my goodness. So you know what sea legs are like. You really can't. Your equilibrium is off. If you walk, you feel like you just floating and oh goodness, it is terrible. So Mary gonna stay back with her friend because that's her friend in real life. Okay. So at the table at dinner, Brahman throws Brittany under the bus. So Heather is saying how she made the announcement that there are only 6 people coming to dinner. Mary's gonna stay back with Angie. And so she says how much she's misses Mary and Angie's commentary. And so Brittany says, well, I don't miss Mary's commentary. And so Heather's like, honey, Brittany, we have rules. She's like, oh, what? She said, don't talk crap about people. Don't talk about, excuse me, y'all, don't talk crap about people when they're not present. And so Brittany was like, child, I'm the only one that talk crap about people to their face. What are you talking about? So Brown was like, nope, 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 nope. And I'm like, Bronwyn. She's like, And I can't believe how are they gonna be sleeping in the same room together and they fighting like this? So Brown is like, no, there's people at this table that you mad at that you are not saying anything about. So the flashback is rolled. They're shopping. And honey, Brittany is running her mouth. She said Lisa's trying to be her big sister. She's big sister in her too much, and she don't need all that. She says Meredith goes from 0 to 100 real quick. She slurs her words, and she likes to have these seizures. And pretty much she's saying, like, she get hot real quick. I said, because she hang with Lisa. Lisa is a 0 to 100 real quick, too. So Meredith is like, what? What? That's not funny because people really have seizures. My child, for instance, has seizures. That's not nothing to be tripping, like playing with. And so Brittany is trying to say, well, my child. Brittany couldn't even finish. My child, Meredith said, I don't give up. And then Meredith dumps water in Brittany's lap. I said, well, wait a minute. She said, my child, Meredith. She didn't say Jared. Heather said, Meredith, turn your hearing aids up. But Brittany throws the water back at Meredith, honey. She wasn't putting up with that. Go, Brittany, go. Go, Brittany, go, Brittany, go. But baby, Meredith had a good old block, child. She blocked that water. Guess where that water landed? Right on Bronwyn. Now Bronwyn is all wet. You see her in the background trying to fix her makeup and get herself together. Child Whitney then ran behind Heather to stay dry. She over there hiding behind her. The staff, the lady, I think her name was Daisy, she is looking like, what the F is going on here? Like, these MFers are crazy. Oh my gosh. So Meredith, I have had enough. Child. So Brittany and Meredith are arguing. They're going back and forth and back again, all while the staff is vacuuming in between them at the table. Heck of funny. I was cracking up. Oh, and then the staff is saying, this is insane. They in the back, this is insane. So Heather wants them to own their BS, have a conversation. We're not going to do a pile on because we're privileged women. Did y'all hear that white lady tell them other white ladies that they are privileged women? I was no lies detected. We are privileged women. We're successful. We're living our best lives. We don't want to put on a pal on. We're not going to do that. Meredith was like, well, what is a pal on? Because Bronwyn got my back. Lisa got my back. There ain't no pal on going on over here. So Brittany tells Meredith, just disengage. Meredith was like, I will disengage with you forever. Don't play with me. Who child? And yeah, so she's like, so Meredith was like, there's no gang up. So Whitney changes the subject. Let's talk about our talk on the bed earlier. Child, Meredith's like, oh, the one y'all was having? No. Whitney was like, no, you were there too. And Meredith says, yes. Meredith is scared of Lisa. You hear me? So Heather tells Lisa, she thinks the source of the dirt is you. I think you're the source of the dirt. I'm not the source of anything. Hollering, she about to go to 100. Meredith, I hope it's not true. Lisa looking at her like, you better have my back. You better. And she's like, yeah, I do. Because it's not true. Meredith was like, well, that's all I needed to hear, boo. That's all I needed to hear. So Lisa's like, I'm so sick of these MFing B's. I was like, wow. She was like, people tell me stuff everywhere I go. This is weird. I hear stuff. So shut the F up about me. Lisa gets up and she goes over to Heather and grab her face. Because she trying to figure out, like, honey, you are supposed to be under my spell. Why are you throwing me under the bus? We supposed to be buddies. Why are you doing this? You was right there. You better take this. You better stop. Why are you doing this? That's what all of that was about. Because I'm like, why is she reaching for her face, grabbing her face? Not harsh, but she trying to get like she it's like Heather a runaway slave and she's the master trying to get her back to the house. Come back, come back. So Whitney was trying to walk towards Lisa. Lisa says, don't you come near me. And Whitney was like, I'm coming near you. Lisa to Heather, F you. And Heather's like, F me. And Lisa's like, F you. Y'all call me a cheater. You call me Grimshaw. Y'all lucky I talk to y'all. Child, Lisa is losing her mind. She's the one having a seizure. She's going 0 to 100. She is crying, hollering, screaming, cussing, fussing. And she tells Meredith, you better say sorry right now. And it's like, what? Now Heather is screaming, listen to me. I've been your friend. I've been a friend of you. Just own it. Now Lisa is hollering even more and clapping and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to admit to something I didn't do. And you're not a friend because you're telling me to own up to something I didn't do. She back grabbing Heather's face. Heather is folding like a chair. You know all of the dirt. So say it to her face. But she is folding. Trust me, she's folding. It's the beginning of her fold. You know all of the dirt, so say it to her face. And Baldwin is sitting there like, yes, tell me to my face, Lisa. Why am I responsible for the internet? You are what? Baby, we didn't call you Beyonce. We just said you know how to troll the internet. You are responsible for trolling the internet. You're not responsible for the internet, Lisa. So Captain Jason told his staff that he was gonna eat dinner with the ladies, but he gonna turn into a ghost. He's out. Honey, he went down to go see what Mary and Angie was up to because he had put ice all around, alongside of Angie's body so she can cool down and feel better. So he go check on them. And Mary is eating. They're taking Mary her plate, her dessert, so she cool. Heather is like, Heather tells Lisa, you're spinning it, you moron. I said, oh gosh. So let me take that back. She didn't fold just yet, but she called Lisa a moron. And then she tells Lisa, if you're not going to listen to me, then get off the yacht. Lisa's like, okay, I will leave. But then she act like she was going to leave. She on the phone with John. She crying. She walking back towards Heather, all in her face, got her finger all in her face. Blocka, 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 blocka. Now she crying. Calls John. Heather is following her and they arguing. Don't follow me. I'm following you. You're my friend. I'm telling you the truth. Leave me alone. Don't follow me. John, I don't know what you're doing to me, John. Please tell me you'll meet me at the hotel. I have to come home. I need to die. They walking down the stairs, out the yacht, onto the deck. Where are you going, Lisa? So then Heather's like, okay, I didn't follow you. You fussing, you cussing, let me go on over here. So she go to Mary and Andy's room and she's hyperventilating and crying. They're like, what's wrong? Like they can't hear all this chaos. And so she's the source. She's the source. They're like, yeah, we know. Andrew's like, you're the real friend. Tell her game over. Mary says, you're being a real friend, and and that's what real friends do. Child, Whitney was like, hey, she went and got the staff. Can you take me on a tour of the kitchen, please? I would like to see what's going on. So they're like, yeah, come on. They go down the stairs. She getting ready to fall. She got that red wine in her hand, and she almost scrubbed down them stairs. Then she all in their bedroom, they had, the bedroom corner. Oh, this is nice. All in their cabin. She like, oh, I'm gonna make my own fun. And then Brittany tries to go console Lisa. Lisa's like, don't touch me, get away from me. I don't want nobody but John. She's still crying. And she like, nope, I don't want it. You don't want me? No, get away from me. So she leaves. And child, that was the end of the episode, besties. Child, this episode was top tier, 10, 10, 10. As always, besties, drop down in the comments. Share the video, comment. I'll comment back. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and make sure that notification bell is on. And I will be back with another recap. Today is Tuesday. You will get the season finale of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Yay! It's finally coming to an end. Yay! And did I tell you I'm Married to Medicine is coming back? I think, child, I want to say, is it Sunday? Child, I think it's coming on next Sunday, I think. Child, Lord have mercy. I don't know if I'm ready for them. I heard Dr. Heavily was demoted. She just gonna be a friend of, and she should be. All that mess she caused last season. But anyway, baby, Salt Lake City, clap it up, clap it up. All right, besties. I'll be back with another recap. Bye, besties.